Hello, everybody, and welcome to United Talks Live, United Talks podcast. We're going to be doing a live stream today. We missed one yesterday because obviously a whole lot of things. I was away at a conference and all of that, but now we're back and we'll continue from where we stopped. There's not a lot that's happened in the last 24 hours, but we can talk about like most of the things that have been going on at Manchester United and everything in between. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining. If you're joining us for the first time, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Yeah, a lot has been buzzing, but not a lot has been going on. So Rúben Amorim came out to press conference and had a conversation with the press with regards to his comments, Ronaldo's comments and everything in between. And then you had a situation where he responded in a very cool and calm way. I've done the pre-match press conference review on the channel. Go watch it and let us know your thoughts and feelings in that one. And then we'll talk about every other thing with regards to Manchester United. Talk about transfer news. We'll talk about like I said, give you news you can use all the time. So just spare me your time, and we're gonna just have an interesting conversation. We're gonna talk about an opinion piece with regards to Oliver Glasner, and we're talking about Oliver Glasner and the rise, and why the Premier League giants are, watching him closely. Talk about Mainoo's IQ test under Rúben Amorim. We'll also talk about Thomas Frank's praise for Amorim and Mbeumo ahead of United versus Tottenham. He will talk about the transfer battles for Said El Mala. I saw this this news on my good friend's channel, and I went to look at it. My good friend Sal from the Stretford Post, and I basically had to go look it up, and we just have some news on that. And the latest on Jadon Sancho's future at Man United. Obviously, we brought to you news the other day that Jadon Sancho is of interest to Man United. It's of interest to other clubs, but Man United is not going to have him back. That's pretty much what we talked about in that Jadon Sancho news situation. Then we'll also bring you some news about Bendito Mantato, who is at the Under-17 World Cup in Qatar. So we'll talk about that and we'll break it down for you. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk with, the heat is always on in football. You might have seen the title, Amorim Under Pressure, Glasner, Mainoo links and stuff. But in football, the heat is always on. And right now, at the end of the crucial October, the temperature around Rúben Amorim is rising again. And not just from rivals, but from a growing shadow in the managerial market, and that is Oliver Glasner. A lot of people have kind of compared him with other managers, but obviously Amorim and Manchester United have found stability, in a sensational October, rising to restoring the faith after a bruising defeat to Brentford that left the manager on thin ice for a while. But the moment his back is turned, the Wolves actually start circling around Manchester United, and that's the fact. They've not had something to report about, for the last month, and then they all went silent. Those, the corporates, the usual, the Jamie Carragher's of this world. But you had, several other outlets come up with some crazy reports and stuff about Rúben Amorim, but you hear things like, oh, he's gonna draw the game, like Man United lost the game. You hear people like Gary Neville talking about things like these, and you start to ask yourself saying questions and all of that. So we have a massive story on Oliver Glasner, the Crystal Palace miracle worker, who is now officially on the radar of Premier League's powerhouses, and the warning is sent to both Amorim and Chelsea's Enzo Maresca, and I know I kind of sense he's going to go to Chelsea. But before we dive into this succession of rumors, we'll talk about a lot of things. We have, you know, the latest latest one on Kobbie Mainoo's long-term test under Rúben Amorim. We'll also talk about the massive 3-year battle for a 35-year-old Bundesliga wonder kid. We'll also talk about like the incredible performance from United Academy talents, which I highlighted to you at the beginning, and how he could solve the 3-4-3 problem or 3-4-3 system, solve one of the problems in the 3-4-3 system. And this is the full breakdown, you know, of the news that's defining the direction of Manchester United, starting with the biggest question currently facing Man United star midfielder. We'll talk about the Oliver Glasner one much later, but let's start with the Mainoo IQ test, basically, and why Amorim is holding him back. And this is according to, I think, Ben Jacobs. He said it at the United Stand, on the United Stand's YouTube channel. The burning question among United fans is Kobbie Mainoo. I've seen a lot of quotes or a lot of comments on my post where people are saying that Mainoo is definitely not in Amorim's plans, and that is why he is not being considered to play, and that he's made to kind of fight for his spot with Bruno Fernandes. But the burning question that United fans have is, I mean, the long-term, is Mainoo going to be a long-term starter, and why is he not playing more, you know, ahead of like the World Cup and all of those things? But Ben Jacob offers a fascinating answer that cuts right to the heart of Rúben Amorim's philosophy. Yes, Amorim believes Mainoo has everything in his locker to be an elite player for Manchester United, but the current focus isn't on the system or the physical side of his game. It's about the intelligence required, you know, for Amorim's specific style of football. That is what Ben Jacobs says. But Rúben Amorim has come out several times and he said basically that every other player is playing well, and Mainoo is not in the pecking order for the midfielders in the system. It's not high in the pecking order. He's kind of like behind Bruno, and Bruno never gets injured, obviously. But Mainoo brings something different to the team, and when Mainoo comes on, a lot of things just kind of happens. But we have to think about it from the perspective of Rúben Amorim wanted Mainoo to work on three things, and I've said this several times on the channel. I've said it several times, different videos, different platforms, and all that. He wants Mainoo to work on his rhythm, his speed, and his mobility. Rhythm, speed, and mobility. These are the three things that Rúben Amorim has always said he's working with Mainoo to get. Now, Ben Jacobs suggests that this slight philosophical difference in the kind of football the manager wants to play is like, there is a slight philosophical difference in the kind of football that the manager wants to play. Amorim is also reportedly working with Mainoo specifically on his intelligence. I mean, on the intelligence he demands from the players and in the system. The manager has previously spoken about needing Mainoo to increase his pace and rhythm and mobility as well, to better understand the position and to play in different speeds. You know, something slower. Sometimes he can play slower, sometimes he can play faster. I mean, he's been restricted in minutes, but the message from Amorim is very clear. He believes in Mainoo, but is challenging him to be more complete tactically and be a tactically versatile midfielder. So that's a whole lot of things for a midfielder to take in, and I can totally understand the need for him to be tactically versatile and all of that. Now, Rúben Amorim is pushing him hard, wanting Mainoo to become a better, more complete and ready to contribute in any central midfield position, even as a number 6 when needed. So if Mainoo can get that part of his game right, the door is wide open. This isn't a lack of trust. It's a high-stakes IQ test designed to forge a generational talent into a finished product who can seamlessly execute the manager's demanding tactical vision. In as much as we want to deny it, in as much as we want to say, oh, this is not what the case is, and all of that, Mainoo is that kind of player that Rúben Amorim rates highly. He's that kind of player that Rúben Amorim rates that he can actually do incredible things in this squad. He's that kind of player that Rúben Amorim believes that he can actually, you know, dictate the way things pan out in this squad, the style of play, you know, the way we approach games and everything in between. And that's a fact. In truth, in as much as wanting to deny it, Rúben Amorim kind of sees these players firsthand. And one thing you have to note is the fact that, you have to think about the fact that, sometimes we as fans, we tend to see things from a different perspective. We tend to see things from the perspective of the outside. Meanwhile, we don't know what is the goings ins or goings ons in the club. But it is what it is. The door is wide open. Mainoo is going to improve, and I believe that Mainoo needs to stay. I believe that Mainoo needs to kind of stay and be patient. By this time, if he doesn't make this World Cup squad, he's going to make like 3 or 4 more World Cup squads. He needs playing time, no doubt. He's going to get that playing time. Ahmad and Mbeumo are definitely going to the club to the AFCON in December. They'll play in the next international break after the Spurs game, and then they'll go to the AFCON in December and play for a month. You have a whole month to prove yourself and keep yourself indispensable. And even when they come back, they're still definitely not going to be completely fit. They'll be too tired to play in the team, so they'll need a couple more games. So that takes us to a month and a half, a couple more games in the busy period for them to actually come back to full rhythm and all that. You know how Rúben Amorim likes his players, very polished and finished, finished products, so that they can actually deliver. So Mainoo has a lot of time, including Xerxes, if we're going to talk about Xerxes and all of that. But it is what it is. We're also going to talk about, I think one of the things we're going to talk about is the swap deal. I saw that news and I was like, oh, okay. But apparently I realized why. I'll tell you why I think that news was out, but it's not really like something we need to bother our heads about. Then we also need to talk about the resilience of Amorim and Thomas Frank's quotes or statements about Rúben Amorim, as well as, other rivals admiring him. The pressure on Amorim is immense, but the respect also commands is equally clear. I saw a video pretty recently explaining certain deeper things about Rúben Amorim, and I started to see Man United differently. Even though I've been seeing Man United that way, but I started to see Man United a lot more differently, and like kind of strengthen my opinion and my thoughts about what Rúben Amorim's plans is for this squad. But yeah, it is what it is. Now, right ahead of the Premier League clash between Tottenham Hotspur and Man United, Spurs head coach Thomas Frank shared a powerful observation about his counterpart. Frank stated he admires Amorim a lot for going through a variety of tricky spells with a lot of setbacks, and getting basically through it with focus. This speaks of the turbulence that United faced earlier this year, and it is a testament of Amorim's resilience that United has now found his team, and then is showing more and more clarity in the style of play. Now, Frank also knows exactly what to expect from United this weekend. He said they have played more or less the same team in the last 4 or 5 games. Well, not really. Excuse me. No. So not really. I don't think Man United have played like more or less the same team. Maybe you could say, okay, the same lineup, kind of similar. But in the last 2 games, yeah, I can agree with the same lineup. We started Šeško up top. We started with the back 3 of Euro, De Ligt and Luke Shaw. And then we started in goal. So our back 4 was like Sander Lamens, De Ligt, Euro and Shaw. And you could tell that there is some consistency in how we approached the game and all of that. So if you say that, maybe I can agree with you. But if you now say that maybe Man United have been playing the same team, probably not agree with you on that. But it is what it is. You have to kind of make of whatever you see, or make of it with what you will, and all of that. Make of it what you will. But the video I saw kind of gave me some clarity on like what is expected. Give me some clarity on how unpredictable this Man United team is, how this Man United team has evolved with slight changes here and there that has kind of made the team look the way it looks and all of that. So it kind of gave me a hint of a bit of an idea as to what we expect from this team and what you think basically, but you don't like, how do I put this? So you might think you are going to see something and then you don't see it. And that's what I think. So Frank admires Rúben Amorim a lot. He says Man United has a clarity in style. Frank knows exactly what to expect from United because he says we've more or less played the same thing for the same team for the last 4 or 5 games. The newfound consistency and clarity is a massive psychological boost. He basically has said that the newfound consistency and clarity is a massive psychological boost, and he acknowledges that United is playing a specific way that they are good at and are getting better at, and specifically called out the incredibly dangerous front three, which includes a player Frank knows intimately, and that is Brian Mbeumo. Powerful forward, powerful attacker, and all of that. But it's one of those things that we just see, and we're like really excited and happy to see that Brian Mbeumo is a powerful player. But he's one player that we're going to miss incredibly when he goes to the AFCON and all of that. But yeah, it is what it is. So Frank, having worked with Mbeumo for 6 years at Brentford, offered a glowing, if slightly biased, review calling him United's best offensive player. Well, he was the player of the month, and he got 3 goals and 1 assist in the month of October, so that took him to player of the month. Now, he also praised Mbeumo as a team player who can create and he can score, and he works really hard. He makes a lot of off-the-ball runs as well. And Thomas Frank said he is the perfect example of, confident but humble attitude of a player. And the truth is, we can see it. For United fans, hearing a respected opposing manager praise his praise the team's structure, resilience, and key summer signing like Brian Mbeumo should be music to our ears, confirming the positive internal narrative. We talked about Jason Wilcox and what he said about how Manchester United operates in transfer market, and that should give you some kind of a bit of an idea of what Manchester United is doing in the transfer window. You just don't assume things from the outside. And that's why I say, when Rúben came out to say one day that certain things happen at United that you think you know but actually don't know, it gives you it gives you some clarity on what to expect when it comes to Manchester United. So yeah, it is what it is. Man United is doing amazing things. Man United is basically doing things, changing the culture, changing the narrative, changing things from the ground up and all of that. So we have to just kind of be patient and watch as things unfold. Now we have to think about the next aspect of this live stream. Let's not kind of continue to dwell on. I've done the match preview for Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United. Go check it out on the channel, watch it, and let me know your thoughts and feelings. I also did the pre-match press conference review where I analyzed every word that Rúben Amorim said. Check it out on the channel. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and also don't forget to like the video. Please do like the video so we can actually get seen and have conversations with fans and other fans alike. Now the praise from Frank is a welcome reprieve, but this is kind of like with regards to Oliver Glasner as well, but the bigger, more existential threats to Amorim comes from the market, specifically from Oliver Glasner, and that's him being tagged as a dark horse. Oliver Glasner's threat to Amorim. The Crystal Palace manager has successfully led the Eagles to an FA Cup and a Community Shield win and was named Austria's Coach of the Year. Now, his calm authority and ability to achieve success despite losing stars like Olise and Eze has seen his reputation skyrocket, and now big clubs are reportedly eyeing him for a major job, sending a clear warning to both Amorim and Maresca. Now, I can understand the whole Chelsea situation. He can go to Chelsea. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But something for us to watch. Glasner's stability stands in stark contrast to the erratic form at both Manchester United and Chelsea, while Amorim found himself on thin ice before the October run, and Maresca's Chelsea struggle with inconsistency. Glasner remains a picture of composure. Now, this is kind of like comparing all three managers: Oliver Glasner, Rúben Amorim and Enzo Maresca. But when asked about the speculation, Glasner offered a grounded response, preferring to live in the here and now and focusing on continuous constructive conversations with Palace's chairman, Steve Parish. However, whispers from insiders suggest that if the United job were offered, that he would take it in a heartbeat. The crucial November fixture list, where United faces Everton and then Glasner's Crystal Palace, will be a pivotal test. So if Amorim falters, the Austrian's proven track record and a calmer demeanor makes him the top tier candidate, especially a well-equipped Premier League proven alternative waiting in the wings. Thinking about the whole Oliver Glasner situation, I wouldn't be opposed to a Glasner coming, but I wouldn't want a Rúben Amorim replaced, especially when we're building something solid at the club. So it is what it is. We're gonna just keep observing, and we're not gonna beat about the bush. Now we're going to talk about transfer news. Now, I'll say this one quickly before we move on to other transfer news. And this I saw last night. Indikaila comes out and says that Man United tried to hijack the McGahey deal over the summer, and now there's interest. McGahey wanted to go straight to Liverpool, but then it now turned out that Man United came in for him and have a better offer on the table than Liverpool are offering. We can always talk about that. We can always kind of give our own thoughts and stuff. But yeah, that was Indikaila. He's come up with a lot of interesting takes, but it is what it is. Now, the long-term future for Manchester United as a club is being fought on two transfer fronts: the potential arrival of Bundesliga gem and the inevitable departure of a costly superstar. The first is the 35 million battle for El Mala. El Mala is another player that Man United is interested in. Manchester United are reportedly in a three-way transfer battle with Liverpool and Chelsea FC for FC Cone star Said El Mala, the 19-year-old left-sided forward, is enjoying, so left-sided forward, so you play on the left of the 10 if he's playing in the 10. He's enjoying a bright start to the season, scoring 4 goals and registering an assist in limited Bundesliga starts. 4 goals and an assist in limited Bundesliga starts. The player El Mala is a tall 6'1", technically quick, technically sound, quick and versatile attacker who can also provide assists. The price Cone is offering, is valuing him, is around £35 million, a price that could rise due to his growing interest. And the need for Man United is for United, who let Marcus Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, and even at this point, with Ahmad and Mbeumo leaving for the African Cup of Nations for over a month in crucial games, El Mala would represent a shrewd acquisition to add depth and support for players like Matheus Cunha, especially if they need to qualify for, if Man United needs to qualify for European football, and also support for Matheus Cunha, for Bryan Mbeumo and Ahmad, and as well as Nusai Mazraoui. But if they all leave for AFCON, we'll be having like a hole in the squad for 3 players. I don't know how this will go, but I know definitely we'll play like 2 games in the December fixture list, when Mbeumo and Ahmad are gone, and then when Mbeumo and Ahmad are gone, they probably leave like in beginning of second week of December, and then which now leaves us with a hole in the squad, and we need to fill that hole. So if we play these 3 games, then there will now be an option to get him in January. Then he'll still be needing an adaptation time. So what would I rate this transfer? Over 10, probably give you like a 3 over 10, but it is what it is. Said El Mala, seems to be like a very good player, but it is what it is. Do we need that? Yeah, we might need such a player just to fill in the squad spaces and stuff. But the battle reflects a new globalized scouting focus, prioritizing high potential, attainable young players and a core part of Jason Wilcox's and Rúben Amorim's philosophy when it comes to like getting players in the door. And then talking about another player that is going out the door, this is on the flip side of things. The Jadon Sancho chapter closes. The expensive chapter of Jadon Sancho at Old Trafford appears to be reaching its final stage. Borussia Dortmund are reportedly exploring a move to re-sign Jadon Sancho for a third time, but with a crucial condition that they will not pay a fee, which means obviously Man United elected not to extend his contract by a further year to protect his value. And then if Sancho goes to Dortmund, he's going there for free, and I think that is what Sancho wanted. Yeah, come to think of it, I think Sancho wanted that Dortmund deal. Because why would someone decide that, okay, they don't want to go to any other club, but they wanted to see out their contract, and then eventually, at the end of their loan deal, if they go on loan to Spurs, they would now go to Dortmund for free. Yeah, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Anyway, with Sancho's Manchester United contract set to expire next summer and no sign of the club triggering his one-year extension, allowing him to leave on a free transfer, it's looking increasingly likely, and this move could actually mark the pragmatic acceptance that the 73 million pound transfer simply never worked out, and Sancho is a flop at Man United. Yeah, that's it. He's a flop at Man United. Everybody could agree with me on that one. Sancho struggles at Villa, failing to start a Premier League game, contrasts sharply with his successful return to Dortmund on loan last year. For United, it's a regrettable but necessary ending, closing a costly chapter that is focusing on wage bill on players. Focus on wage bill on players and trying to reduce the wage bill to fit Amorim and the Amorim Wilcox team player mentality. Excuse me. I think basically Sancho isn't just that team player, that kind of team player, that you need with regards to the squad, especially team chemistry and everything in between. Like, you have to think about it from that perspective and all. But it is interesting to see. It will be interesting to see how Man United, deal with this situation. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. I know some people who want Sancho back, but I mean, do you think Sancho is going to I don't think he has even played a single game under Rúben Amorim. That's the interesting thing about this. And I think Rúben Amorim has seen more than enough for him to be able to decide what the case would be for Jadon Sancho. So, yeah, that would be super interesting. Now, before we go to not the last, but one of the bits of news that we have, we're going to talk about the news that I said to you. Like, what I saw gave me an idea of the fact that this is more of an opinion piece than just Manchester United news. So let's talk about it. The bold Man United and Atletico Madrid swap transfer deal that could cause World Cup squad chaos. Now let's talk about it. Manchester United and Atletico Madrid could engage in a mega January swap deal with huge ramifications. Manchester United have begun somewhat of a revival in recent weeks. This according to Added Minutes. That is their website, and I saw it and it felt so interesting, so I thought to read it. So Manchester United have begun somewhat of a revival in recent weeks with clear shoot of recovery under Rúben Amorim as the Red Devils look to challenge for a return to Europe. Now, new signings such as Brian Mbeumo, St. Lamans have shown since their arrival, particularly in a strong month in October, which has seen Brian Mbeumo crowned Premier League Player of the Month and Rúben Amorim Manager of the Month. But the progress must not stop here for Man United, with crucial fixtures on the way as Red Devils look to strengthen their grip on the top six push. The January transfer window could prove crucial time for Rúben Amorim's side, who might still require reinforcements across multiple areas of the pitch, and could use the winter window to secure fresh faces. It could also prove to be an opportunity for out-of-favor stars to seek new start elsewhere, as is the case with one player, and that is Kobbie Mainoo seeking general exit in a 10-strong list of suitors pile up. As 10-strong list of suitors pile up. Now, as reported by Cut Offside, Mainoo looks set to push to leave Old Trafford in January as the 20-year-old continues to be a big part player in Amorim's demanding system. Just taking a short break to clear up some things, and then I'll be right back. So we'll continue with the Mainoo news in a few seconds. There, and we're back. Basically, I was muted for a second, so we're just talking about the whole situation with regards to the swap deal that Cut Offside is reporting. Now, obviously, as reported by Cut Offside, Mainoo looks set to push to leave Old Trafford in January as 20-year-old continues to be a speed pop player in Amorim's demanding midfield system. This is what we are seeing online. We could also consider the fact that they stopped him from leaving in the summer. Man United stopped him from leaving in the summer, but make no mistake, he wants out, and the club knows that. Well, yes, he could, and I've seen certain things with regards to Mainoo's body language when he comes into training. When the cameras are on him, he seems to not be able, does not laugh, or kind of gives he gives off a vibe of someone who is not happy and all of that. But one source said that as per the report, with Serie A champions Napoli cited as leading contenders for Mainoo, rival suitors include Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City, Newcastle, Leeds, Everton, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona. While some of the clubs are believed to hold a more concrete interest than others, the high reputation held of Mainoo across England and the continent is evident. However, the 10-cap England international is simply not fancied by Amorim as having the correct attributes to star in his 3-4-2-1 system. So you see that it's all like kind of opinion pieces, reports and stuff, but we'll read it, we'll analyze it, we'll break it down. And despite his continued praise of Mainoo to the media, it appears clear that the academy prospects' fortunes are unlikely to change. I don't think so, but you know, these people will report what they want to report. But with Atletico cited to hold a genuine interest in Mainoo, the strongest interests of La Liga's big three mentioned, the club could open up the possibility of a major January swap deal, which could see United finally agree to part ways with their current team graduate, which I don't think is true. But I mean, I've not seen like the only thing we've seen is Ben Jacobs come out to say stuff like that, but it is what it is. Kobbie Mainoo and Conor Gallagher swap deal could also be a stunning solution, and that is what added minutes is saying. Sorry about that. That's what added minutes is saying. The swap deal involving Mainoo and Atletico Madrid midfielder Conor Gallagher makes a lot of sense. So that's the opinion piece of this this report. Makes a lot of sense and could be a genuine possibility for if United were to reluctantly accept that Mainoo must depart for his own good in January. For his own good, how? But it is what it is. United have been linked with former Chelsea star Gallagher. In recent weeks, as the tenacious midfielder has often found himself in the substitute bench for Diego Simeone's side, the 25-year-old has featured in every match this season, but with only 2 league starts. Right, his chances of earning a spot on the playing for the World Cup next summer has come into serious jeopardy. Basically, Gallagher has 21 England caps and was part of the squad for the Euro 2024 alongside Mainoo, but neither of the pair have yet found and featured under Thomas Tuchel yet. While Atletico Madrid have shown a clear interest in the potential and the technical quality possessed by Kobbie Mainoo, United may also find exactly what they need in a midfielder like Gallagher, often preferred to as a terror in the midfield due to his high work rate and industrious qualities. The former Chelsea captain has leadership qualities and also has the ability to drive forward and score goals when needed. Tottenham have also previously been linked with the former Premier League star. The signing of Gallagher could offer United something different in the middle of the park as they approach the business end of the season. We're yet to enter the middle of the season, so business end is not even up until like April. Yeah, business end is April, the last quarter of the season. But these guys come out and say stuff, and you tend to think twice about what you see. But it is what it is. They're reporting the news, and we're following it just as they say. So, the sign of, like I said, the signing of this is the report, but not to mention a swap deal with Atletico Madrid for Mainoo could also revive the 2 England careers. While a swap loan deal involving both players could be agreed, a straight permanent swap might also be on the cards. It remains to be seen how this one plays out in the winter. The amazing thing is this is an opinion piece, but it is what it is. Excuse me. This is by Callum Preston Kelly, and it was published today. So we can always make of it what we will, and it's one of those things that you have to just kind of like, say to yourself, well, is this true, or it's just making up stuff? Yeah, we'll see. So the next generation of midfielders coming from the academy, or wingers coming from the academy. One, just to have a drink here. Yeah. So one is Bendito Mantato. It's a left back solution for could be a left back solution for Man United. Let's look at the solution. This is the final piece of like all the news that we have today, because there's not much going on, but we'll still break down some of the ones we can see on X after this one. So finally, let's look at the solution that might save the club billions and reinforce the belief in the internal pipeline, which is Bendito Mantato. While scouts are searching for searching the under-17 World Cup for tomorrow's GOAT, or greatest of all time, as the case may be, a young player already at Carrington has made a massive statement. Bendito Mantato. Now, playing for England's under-17, Mantato delivered a standout performance with 2 assists in a massive 8-1 thrashing of Haiti. Now, crucially, Mantato has been used more and more as a left back or left wing back for United and England this season. This is significant because the left wing back spot is currently considered the weakest point of Rúben Amorim's 3-4-3 system. Obviously, I can understand that aspect because Rúben Amorim's system requires a versatile left wing back, but we've played Diogo Dalot at that point, and then Diogo is not like really. Then if we're looking at left wing back, we can always call back Harry Amas. I mean, there's no harm in doing that, but it is what it is. Now, the 17-year-old, Harry Amas is just 19, right? So, or 18. Yeah, Harry Amas could be a good addition to this team. He comes back from loan, because he seems to be doing really well at Sheffield. The 17-year-old composed defensive work and attacking output will certainly be on Rúben Amorim's radar. Obviously, Rúben Amorim is watching him. He's been coming in to support in training and stuff. But with debates surrounding the current options like Diogo Dalot and more performances like this could boost Mantato's chances of firing him into the first team contention. Obviously, towards the end of the season, when we've known where we are, Mantato could actually be playing, right, as a big part, and then eventually build himself. And then I think he needs one loan to now eventually start like making things happen. But in the coming months, we'll know. Providing a ready-made, he's going to be providing a ready-made, cost-effective solution to a major tactical problem that we have, or that is perceived that we have. When we're winning, there's no thought about the tactical problems, but when we're losing or drawing, then they're talking about the tactical problems. But we'll see. Yeah, so if you're watching or you've watched at this point, please do like this video, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I really appreciate you. I don't take you for granted. If you put your comments, I'll read them out, because we have conversations about these and things like these. Now, we're going to talk about the defining months to wrap up like everything we've said here, and then we'll do some trending news like with regards to what's going on X and all of that. So thank you so much for joining. All of this news, the managerial shadow of Glasner, the intense coaching challenge set for Mainoo, and the rivals praise for Amorim's resilience, and the vital transfer decisions looming. This culminates into one crucial month, November. Now, United's broader fixture stretch, starting with Tottenham, will also be a true test of clarity and confidence. Thomas Frank spoke of it in his press conference, but this is the month where the resilience of Rúben Amorim will be forged or broken, and where the seeds planted by the Wilcox recruitment structure will either bloom or wilt. We'll observe it, we'll break it to you as we do match previews, match reviews, breaking news, My United news, United Talks, live, and everything in between, including pre-match press conference and all of that. Now, for the first time in a long time, the pieces of what Manchester United puzzle, of the Manchester United puzzle feel very intentional. From the development of a star like Mainoo to the identification of academy solutions in Mantato, the direction is set, but the pressure to deliver is now higher, now more than ever. What do you think about the bigger concern of Manchester United right now? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. The external threat from Oliver Glasner, that was an opinion piece with regards to Oliver Glasner being, you know, like an existential threat to Amorim or Enzo Maresca's job, or the need for Mainoo to adapt to Amorim's specific demands. I mean, obviously, Mainoo is going to adapt. His training. He's a professional. He understands how to handle it. Unless he comes out and says, well, I'm not looking for any move and all of that. These guys are still going to put up any rumor and all of that. So you have to just, you know, make of it what you will. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, what you think. Now we go over to X and see what news is making the rounds with regards to that. Obviously, we already know that what's his name? Rúben Amorim won the Manager of the Month, and then obviously everybody was getting really hyped up and really annoyed about the fact that Rúben Amorim won it over Mikel Arteta. But in fact, you have to think about how the votes were counted. First and foremost, you have to think about the fact that Rúben Amorim won his games against high quality teams. Liverpool, Sunderland, who were high flying at the time, that they were fourth at the time when Mainoo played them, and they were also going to go second. And then we played against Brighton. So these three teams were stubborn. Brighton were eighth at the time when we played them. Sunderland were third at the time when we played them. Liverpool were fourth or second at the time when we played them. So Liverpool were losing, but it was good to see that Man United, you know, took part in the opportunity to beat Liverpool. Then Brian Mbeumo also won the Player of the Year, Player of the Month. So Amorim won Player of the Month for October. Brian Mbeumo won Player of the Month for October. And yeah, it was great. And then also today is David De Gea's 35th birthday. I mean, the guy's aging like fine wine, you know, still looking sharp and young and playing at a top club like Fiorentina. So that's so good for him as well. So X is actually full of a lot of like news about Rúben Amorim getting the Premier League Player of the Month, Manager of the Month, and Player of the Month to Brian Mbeumo. Then we also have Bruno Fernandes, who has been nominated or shortlisted for the best FIFA Men's 11 of 2025. He's been shortlisted on that list and all of that. So it is what it is. Yeah, and then a whole lot of things surrounding the fact that Amorim is dedicating that Manager of the Month award to the team of coaches around him. He has around 7 coaches around him to help, you know, make things work out for Manchester United. And the last time we've seen things like where player and manager win Player of the Month and Manager of the Month is, you know, we've had that under Eric Ten Hag, we've had that under Sir Alex Ferguson. Eric Ten Hag was Maguire and Ten Hag winning it. Sir Alex Ferguson was Ronaldo and Scholes. Ronaldo and Ferguson winning the same month, and Scholes and Sir Alex Ferguson winning the same month. We also had Brian Mbeumo now and Amorim winning the same month, Player of the Month and Manager of the Month. And then we also have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer winning it with Rashford in the same month. So yeah, it was pretty interesting to see. And I watched the training video for how Man United played and everything in preparation for the Spurs game, and I was pretty impressed by what Man United was delivering and everything. They're doing strength training, they're doing workouts in the gym, they're doing a whole lot of things, but it was pretty interesting to see that Man United are actually really preparing intensively for Spurs. And Spurs just really played on Wednesday. I think it played on Wednesday, or they played on Tuesday, and they beat the team they played on Tuesday in the Champions League. So yeah, they will not have enough time as we will to prepare for the game. So we have ample time to actually research the game and be ready, but it is what it is. Brian Mbeumo becomes the 24th Manchester United player to win a Premier League Player of the Month award. At least 5 more than any other club. So It is what it is. And on that list, he's in elite. He's in an elite list. He has Paul Ince, Eric Cantona, David Beckham, who is, congratulations to David Beckham, who is now a sir. He's now a knight. In Great Britain, he's now Sir David Beckham. So Sir David Beckham, Andrew Cole, Roy Keane, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham, Juan Sebastian Veron, rather, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Paul Scholes, Wayne Rooney, Ryan Giggs, Cristiano Ronaldo, Nemanja Vidic, Dimitar Berbatov, Robin van Persie, Anthony Martial, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, David De Gea, we have Harry Maguire, we have Rasmus Højlund, and then we have Brian Mbeumo. So 24 players to win the Premier League Player of the Month award. 5 more than any other club. So yeah, we have this other post from Live Score talking about Anthony. I mean, this guy, he never seems to get out of. He's been sold. I don't know why we're still, talking about him and stuff. But Anthony has already scored more goals for Real Betis than he did in his entire time at Manchester United. He played 96 times and scored 12 goals. The Premier League is harder, man. The Premier League is tougher, and the Man United shirt is heavier than. For Betis, he has played 36 times. He scored 15 goals this season. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they still keep bringing it back, because I don't understand the rationale behind it. But it is what it is. Then I see this post, and it was from Rio Ferdinand. He said, when I saw Cristiano Ronaldo's header goal against Al Ittihad and the way he moved, I sent a clip of the goal to someone I know at Man United and told him, listen, we need to make Sesko do this. If I were him, I would spend my time studying Ronaldo's movements inside the penalty area over the last 10 years. That's a very good advice. That's like a very good advice to give to a player. Whereas, excuse me, you also have to think about the fact that, it's not about just kind of like making those movements. It's also about the fact that you have to think about it from perspective of, okay, he makes the movement, does the cross come in? That's the thing. Does the cross come in? If the cross doesn't come in, then the movement is a waste of time, right? It's a waste of time. So, yeah, it is one of those things you have to think about. But then, at the end of the day, it all boils down to what the reporter is saying. But Rio Ferdinand said it. But I respect Rio Ferdinand's opinions on some things. Well, and I don't agree with him on other things. But he's saying that he would tell Sesko to study Ronaldo's movements in the box. But then, you have to think about the fact that the cross has to come in. It's not like we're spamming multiple crosses. Sesko has a good jump on him. It's not like we're spamming multiple crosses in and then he's not getting it. No. It's not that, or he's weird, he's positioning himself wrongly and all that. There could be all that, and there could also be that he's putting himself in the position, but he's not getting the crosses in, or we're not getting the crosses in. But it is what it is. We have to just, make of it what we will, and whoever is giving the, whoever is taking the advice, should take it in good faith and accept it. Then Inikala comes again. And like I said, make of it what you will. High-level source at Man United, Rúben Amorim has told the owners that elite midfielder is a must in January. And then he puts a picture of Carlos Baleba and Adam Wharton. I'm like, okay, that's not... what do you guys think about this whole Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton thing? Do you think it's going to be possible in January? I don't think so. I think we're going to go for a cheaper deal that will just kind of cover the spot until we get... Adam Wharton or Carlos Baleba in January. But yeah, I know Rúben Amorim doesn't want a short-term deal. He wants a deal that is one for the future, long-term. We can build on all of that. Yeah, it is what it is. But it's one of those things you have to just kind of hope that Man United gets it right, especially in the transfer window in the summer or in the winter window and all of that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section about this one. Also, Lenioro on his Manchester United teammates, he says, I have a good relationship with everyone, but I spend more time with Kobbie as well as with Ahmad, who also speaks French, Mbeumo, Patrick Dogu, Aiden Heaven, and the young guys. We spend a lot of time together, but everyone gets along well. I have a very good relationship with Cunha, Shaw, Bruno, and everyone. right? What's great is that there is no cliques in the team. That is very key, and that's why I had to read this. There is no cliques in the team. We form a single group of friends. I think that's better for the team. It avoids dramas and other problems. And I watched the training today, and I was like, okay, these players are coming in pretty early for their training, and they're coming pretty early for their training, and it's pretty interesting to see how, you know, these guys are coming in at the, it's like they blew a whistle or a bugle, and all of a sudden you're seeing them walking at the same time, one following the other and everything. Like, it's so interesting and so lovely to see these players kind of, even Tyrone Malacia seems to have, you know, bedded in nicely, even though it's suspected that he's supposed to bed in properly in the team, but he seems to have bedded in nicely in the team, and we appreciate that and all of that. So it is what it is. Yeah, and then I think I watched the highlight of this game just to kind of, would I say laugh at Forest, but let's see. Sean Dyche's record at Nottingham Forest. He's played 4 games. He won on 2 penalties against Porto in the Europa League, and then lost to Bournemouth. I think last minute loss to Bournemouth as well, and then a draw versus Man United, and now he's drawn versus Sturm Graz. That's 1 win, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Well, not so bad, but it is what it is. I hope they don't sack him anymore. Sack him as you know, the way things are. Now, I have in front of me a picture of Man United players, you know, having fun and spending quality time together. You have Man United players at an indoor golf course pitch in Manchester last week. This is according to Pitch Manchester IG. They were having fun, spending quality time together, bonding and everything. Manchester United's first player and manager of the month double since 2023. So that's the one we're talking about pretty early earlier, when we said that October 2025, Mbeumo wins with Amorim, and then November 2023, Maguire wins with Ten Hag. So long may it continue, and hopefully we are able to build momentum. And then I watched this part of the video of the training inside quarantine where Brian Mbeumo was asked to describe, Cunha was asked to describe Brian Mbeumo in one word, because Brian Mbeumo won the player of the month. It says describe Brian Mbeumo in one word, and Cunha just said, what a player. It's always hard to play against him, but to play with him now is amazing. He deserves it. And that's basically with regards to the Premier League player of the month. Then TNT Sports is saying that having finished 17th and 15th respectively last season, Tottenham now face Manchester United, with both teams able to reach a record second place, with a victory. Now, if we look at the table, the Premier League table, for like with where Manchester United is right now, if we look at the Premier League table, I can tell you this for a fact that if Man United win against Spurs, trust me, let's just go to the table. Man United win against Spurs, we get 20 points and we go to second above Man City. And Man City face Liverpool. Anything can happen in that game. We go above Man City and Liverpool, and even if they draw, then we'll go to third, because Man City will get to 20, and then Liverpool will get to 19, and Man United will be in third. If Sunderland win their game, who do Sunderland face? Sunderland face Arsenal. Oh yeah, that's gonna be tough, man. Sunderland face Arsenal, and they could potentially. Yeah, I want Sunderland to shock Arsenal. So if Sunderland shocks Arsenal, then it takes them to 21. So they'll be second. Then if Bournemouth win their game against Villa or they draw, yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's going to be a lot of movements, right? Man United just needs to win their game. Chelsea are facing Wolves. Wolves will be with a new manager, or yeah, man, who is Wolves' manager right now? Let's look at the Wolves. They're last in the table. They will die for it. They have nothing to play for other than just to kind of, Yeah, let's look at Wolves. Let's look at Wolves as a team. Yeah, just a quick one. Excuse me. Wolverhampton Wanderers. I don't think they have a manager right now. They haven't appointed any manager. Yep, they have no manager. Maybe a player is gonna just yeah. Maybe one of the assistant managers or academy, whatever, is gonna, come in for him. Yeah, so Chelsea face Wolves. They'll probably be wanting to redeem themselves. They haven't won in 5, 3 losses and 1 and 2 draws. So it'll be super interesting to see how the Premier League shapes up. If Chelsea win, it takes them to 28 points as well, second and all. Man United win, it takes them to take 20. The 6th, 7th, and 8th team in the league has the potential to go second, right? So we just have to try and win our game, because we start early, we go second, we're 5 points behind Arsenal, and then we put the pressure on Arsenal to try and play and beat Sunderland and all of that. So, I mean, the last 5 games we have a good record. We have 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So it's one of those things, especially in the Premier League. Yeah, we need to just get that red out of the window so we can have some greens and all of that. Maybe more greens than greys. Yeah. So far in the Premier League, Man United have played 10 games, 5 wins, 50%, 2 draws, which takes it to 65%, and then 3 losses. Yeah, only Man City have had 3. Liverpool has had 4 losses. So it is what it is. It's going to be an interesting one to see. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. What do you guys think? Somebody says talking THFC. There is no way Tottenham beat Man United in a European final. No chance. No chance. And this guy puts it in all caps, man. No chance. What? Because of all the Bailey history, mentality. They're just a club that just a club who find a way to win. Man United have got an ability to win games they shouldn't. They beat Man City in a FA Cup final last season. I just don't. I just think the whole Man United in a European final will be too much for Tottenham Hotspur. Just you wait. That's crazy, man. Anyway, Ben Jacobs is saying that Manchester United and Eta Eyong could be one to look out for next summer. This is, I think, a 19-year-old player who plays for which team? I think he plays for Levante, right? Yeah, it's pretty much straightforward. Watch your training. They're super interesting guys. Now, this is the last one we're going to talk about before we kind of wrap it up here. Matheus Cunha and Manchester United offering him on Manchester United offering him the number 10 shirt. He says, I can say to you, when the club came to me and then offered, I was like, wow, it was such a privilege. Only to join the club and was ready, and was already for me like a dream come true. I say, like, you're sure? Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready because this is my dream and I want to do everything for this club, and that is according to the Sun. Yeah, now we're heading into the Spurs game before we close things at the close shop here. Spurs have Man United's number the last 3 years, winning 4 in a row, including last season's Europa League final. So, yeah, Man United haven't won against Spurs in a long time. So it is what it is. So like I said, ahead of the game, records are meant to be broken, and it will only get better. It will only get better. Ben Jacobs is speaking about Diogo Leon. He says, you've got Diogo, who is doing excellent, I'm told, in training, and a bit like Christian Mosquera at Arsenal is the kind of talent that Manchester United feel could become very quickly ready for the Premier League football. One thing I can tell you about Diego Leon at left wing back is the fact that he hasn't played a full 90 minutes, even in the academy, but he's getting there and working up his fitness, and hopefully he's able to achieve that. Hopefully he's able to achieve that and build consistency, and eventually get to play in the first team as his dream. Right now, Cunha on Shaw, he says, I'm someone that tries to joke every day and make the days of my teammates better with more joking and then smile. He's someone that likes this and then tries to do the same with me. We start to build like a beautiful relationship. Now it's according to Samuel Lacoste and all of that, talking about Shaw and Cunha's relationship and everything. So Ben Jacobs is also saying, I think on the United stand, MUFC, saying that ultimately Rúben Amorim was under pressure heading into Sunderland before the October break. If Amorim gets to the festive period, which he is going to now, and Manchester United are in the European picture, then the expectation has always been that then he gets the full season and things are moving in the right direction. The expectation, Ben Jacobs doesn't determine the expectation. It's just his opinion, isn't it? So they've told him, they've given him the backing. There's no need to just kind of talk about it. So yeah, so it is what it is. Yeah. Now, this one is on why Lenny Yoro rejected Real Madrid to join Manchester United. He said, I've never felt a sense of regret. Manchester United is a top-level club. I knew the project before arriving. Of course, I couldn't expect to finish the first year in 15th place, but these are things you also have to face. It wasn't just Real Madrid or Manchester. Many clubs were courting me, but I chose United, and I'm very happy about it. So, yeah. And then the English squad has been released. Men's football squad, men's senior squad has been released for Serbia and for Albania. Dean Henderson, Pickford, and Pope in goal. You have Byrne, Gahey, James, Konsa, O'Reilly, Kwanzaa, Spence, and Stones. Anderson, Bellingham, Jadon Henderson. Yeah, Jadon Henderson. He's flying at Brentford, so Rice, Rogers, Scott, and Wharton. Okay, and Anderson makes it. Okay. Bowen, Eze, Foden, Gordon, Kane, Rashford, and Saka. No Man United player there, except for Rashford, who's on loan. So which is good. They get to rest and they get to take time, to work on things and stuff. So it is what it is. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. We're wrapping things up here. Please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on this next one. Don't forget to leave your comments and your thoughts on all things Manchester United, so we can actually build a community. And trust me, if you're watching to this point, I really appreciate and I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate everything you do. To all my Facebook folks, I really appreciate you, because I know you're going to be watching this video. To all my folks on X and on YouTube, I really appreciate. I don't take it for granted. I hope that we can continue to build this community together and evolve as a team, as a community, and everything. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.